My name is Shirley Hoy. I'm currently the city manager for the City of Toronto, which means I head up the bureaucracy for the city. So there are over 40 divisions in the city and over 25,000 employees that work directly in these divisions that report up to the city manager position. So I'm very proud and privileged to be the city manager for the City of Toronto.
So when did you immigrate to Canada?
Oh, I'm one of these very, very old immigrants. My family and I came to Canada in 1958. So I came as a young kid, and mainly my family have grown up here in Toronto mainly. We lived for a couple of years in North Bay before we came to Toronto.
So as a lady and work in the city higher management, so do you see any changes in the past 10, 20 years about the women's status and how they achieve, especially for the ethnic community like Chinese?
I actually think Canada is a country of huge opportunity. Of course, from time to time, we do experience discrimination, but on the whole, I think that the society is so diverse. The opportunities are there, and also there's so many groups like the CBWC group, for example, where again and again we see that there are organizations that will help new immigrants to settle in the country, but also to deal with social justice issues to make sure that society is fair to everyone.
Do you see more Chinese immigrating to Canada? Do you have any advice to them, say, as a new immigrant, what do they have to take care or notice?
Oh, I think it's very important for the kids and for the adults in the families to participate in the affairs of the community, to take part in organizations. And what's wonderful in Toronto now is there's so many organizations. So when you start, and if you're not yet proficient in the language, there are many organizations that are able to help you to settle in and to speak in your own language to make sure you're comfortable and then integrate into the various activities. And I think it's really important to participate. Participate wherever you can, through community centers, through libraries, through health centers, through the YMCA system, and just take part in everything that you can, and to volunteer.
So what do you think of Canada is a good place to live or work, something like that?
Absolutely. I think it's a wonderful place to raise a family. It's also a relatively safe society. I think when we see what's going on around the world, our democracy is strong, and I think that speaks volumes to the opportunities that's available to everyone who live in the country.
我是于成章，目前是加拿大中国专业妇女协会会长。
这个会什么时候成立的？
我们是1996年3月8号。
主要这个会的目的是什么？
我们这个协会的主要的目的是，团结在来自于世界各地的华人妇女，尤其是她受过高等教育的华人妇女，组织起来，让她们在有一个平台，大家在一起共享信息，了解加拿大的经济、文化和职业发展，大家互相帮助，使得大家能够尽快的融入社会，贡献于社会。
你们会员大概有多少？
我们从创会到现在已经有几百人了。
会什么活动？
我们最近几年呢，主要是有做了一些不同的项目服务，尤其是社区组织的一些活动，比如说健身啊、健康啊、职业发展啊、教育啊，还有一些文化娱乐等等。
今天这个活动是什么？
今天的活动呢，是为了庆祝38国际妇女节，还有呢加拿大中国专业妇女协会成立11周年。
这个活动的是图片展览里面，展览是。
这个图片展呢，我们起的题目是"生活在加拿大的中国妇女"，因为我们是庆祝妇女节嘛，我们觉得我们的妇女的另一面呢，应该让这个社会啊来了解我们华人妇女，她们从 就是来自于各行各业，有些呢是很早就来的，有的呢是这个华裔，有些呢是移民。不论他们来了多少年，但是他们都是勤勤恳恳，在这片土地上呢，为了生存啊，为了发展，也为了建设加拿大呢，做出了很多的贡献。
从图片看，有很多非常成功的妇女例子，可以讲几个吗？
成功的妇女例子呢，实际上是为了激励我们的新移民妇女。移民的生活呢是很艰辛的，但是呢，很多的障碍我们可以通过自己的努力、社会的帮助可以克服。你比如说，像我们最近新移民的成功的案例呢，有单杰，她是一位很杰出的华裔女科学家。还有呢，我们协会的杰出妇女呢，像尹雪萍博士，还有呢许荣梅医生。那么都是近几年来的新移民，他们很有代表性的，通过自己的努力创业，经过几年之后呢，有了自己的天地，也为社会、为这个社区呢，在做更多的贡献。那么从老的移民呢，我们有将近100岁的李秋云博士，还有帮这次图片展做了很多宣传啊工作的周阳希妈妈，还有陆妈妈，他们都是呢，既为推动中国这个文化、这个社区，为新移民服务，同时呢做了大量的义工。他们就是我们妇女的榜样，也是我们要融入社会，大家在一起啊，能够生活得更美好的一个很好的例子。
如果他们想知道多一些关于协会的资料跟参加优惠，有什么途径？
通常呢，就是下边一步呢，妇女协会准备呢，在这个组织管理方面啊，还有会员服务方面做一些工作，比如说 membership 的注册，我们要重新管理，然后有更多的渠道呢，通过正常的渠道和公开的渠道呢，了解妇女协会目前的项目和我们的服务对象。因为我们通常活动呢都是发布在公共媒体上，报纸啊，通过新闻媒体，对吧？应该是说更加的尽可能的使得新移民妇女了解这个社会，提供一个平台。
有没有网址跟电话可以联络一下？
我们有联系电话，但是目前呢，我们的所有的工作人员都是义工，他们既有自己的工作，利用业余时间来为这个社区服务。
网址是什么？
网址我们是 www.cpwca.net。
有没有联络电话
？416-224-0882。
没有的呀。
Welcome to the Chinese Professional Women of Canada's Photo Exhibition Chinese Women of Canada。女士们、先生们，晚上好！欢迎大家来到生活在加拿大的华人妇女图片展。Please rise for the playing of the national anthem, performing by Wendy Long。请大家起立并唱国歌。本次图片展《生活在加拿大的华人妇女》由 由加拿大中国专业人士妇女协会主办，得到多伦多市政府和社区各界的热情支持。We'd like to invite on stage the President of Chinese Professional Women of Canada, Cynthia Yu, to give us a brief speech. 我们现在有请加拿大中国专业妇女协会主席于成江女士上台讲话，有请。
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
The title of the photo exhibition is Chinese Women in Canada. The theme of the photo exhibition is health, life, and family harmony. We have carefully selected about around 100 pictures. And those pictures reflect women's work and the contributions of Chinese immigrants in Canada. Chinese Professional Women of Canada is a non-profit organization that established in March in 1996. Our mission is to help female Chinese immigrants to adapt to Canadian society and culture, to protect women's rights, to understand Canadian regulations and laws, to provide a variety of social services and activities for Chinese women and their families, to share information about career development and settlement, and to build a healthy and safe community. The road for immigrants in Canada is a challenging but beautiful and promising. Chinese women of Canada have been writing most attractive stories among immigrants. They have played very important roles in building Canada, working in different walks of life. Many thanks to all our support. The photo exhibition reflects the life stories of Chinese women in Canada. We hope it will attract the attention of Canadian governments at all levels. New immigrants need the full support from you to successfully mix with the Canadian society and better contribute to Canada, which are provide all our second motherland. We also hope this photo exhibition will encourage Chinese immigrants to involve more in the Canadian society, pay more attention to women's rights, to contribute to a safer and better life in our community. Many thanks to the City of Toronto to provide us with the wonderful space here in the City Hall to make the exhibition possible. Our special thanks go to all the volunteers aged from 7 to over 80 who have worked really hard during the past months to make this photo exhibition a success. We would also like to thank all those people who have given us full support during the preparation.
Good evening. It's a great pleasure for me to be bringing greetings on behalf of the Mayor and on behalf of my fellow City Councillors to welcome you here this evening and to welcome the exhibition into the Rotunda. It's a special treat for us that our own City Manager is included amongst these accomplished women. Congratulations, Shirley, on being included. I'm going to make sure that everybody who's in town this week, everyone who is up on the second floor, takes some time to walk through the exhibition because it speaks to the organization as well as to the wonderful contribution of Chinese women in the City of Toronto and across the nation. It's a treat for me to look at this on a personal level. My grandfather and his wife, I call her my grandmother. She was my grandfather's second wife. Both worked for the Department of Immigration. Marjorie Baskerville and Wallace Baskerville worked many years in Toronto. Through the years, when many of these women, the more senior women in the exhibition, were coming to Toronto, and the work was so rewarding for them that they developed many long and lasting friendships within the community. And I remember many, many stories. It's why it's a pleasure for me to serve the ward that I serve that has so much of the Chinese professional community at its heart. Later in life, when my father was looking for a location in the downtown Chinese community to situate Ronald House so that we could serve the families of people going to sick kids, he spent a long time negotiating with a businessman who they went back and forth. So often real estate transactions take many meetings, and it wasn't until the end of the meeting, when the deal was almost signed, that my father was signing, and before the gentleman who had to sign his contribution on the dotted line, and here he'd been meeting with this man named Wally Lee for lo these many months, and he was about to sign his name, and he looked up and he said, "I'm going to sign Wallace, that's my full name." And my father said, "Okay, and you can hurry up and sign. I want to get this house on the way." And it was only then that he looked up and he said, "Baskerville, very rare name." And my father said, "Yes, it is. It's pretty rare in Canada." And he said, "I'm named after your father." And it was then he told him the story that there was a lasting friendship that developed in the community, and began to tell them how many there were. He said, "If you walk up and down the street, I can find you more than one Wallace, and I can find you a few Marjories too." And they were deep friendships, but there was such modesty behind them that he didn't know that they existed. The modesty both on our side, on the part of my grandfather, but on those people who had looked to those services they provided to be established here, and then achieved so much success. And the thing that brought it full circle for my father, and he brought back to our family table and made sure that we understood, was this really is full circle. Because this is a person who has so prospered. Here he is at well below what he could earn for this property, selling it back to us for the song that we needed to be sold back for, so that we can give back to this community that houses Sick Children's Hospital. That's what happens when you serve people and you give them the foundation. They do give back, and here's a community that has done so. What the Women's Association brings to it is that extra piece, that so often that it is the women in this community that through their professional lives give back every day and go beyond their professional lives. And that's the point of this organization. So often it's the women in our community, when they no longer need, they don't forget what they needed. What I needed yesterday, someone needs today. And I'm seeing it this evening. I saw it this morning at a youth conference where I was giving greetings on behalf of the mayor, and I looked out and thought, there's a lot of really strong, really hardworking women in this 250 strong group here to help us build a city that's safer for youth. And tonight I look at some very strong women. I look at the exhibit and I see very strong women who throughout the city have made sure that this is a place where newly immigrated families and newly immigrated women can find what they need to prosper and then give their piece back. So we're grateful that the association tonight and in the display this week applauds those efforts. I have to applaud. I was telling Shirley earlier, I dare not say I can't attend because Mama Lou lives in my ward. And if I was not here to say thank you to you, she'd be saying, you have to remember all the work we do. And And by the way, I have a raffle ticket for you. So I'm very pleased and honored because I have a very treasured co-worker in Shirley Boyd, Mama Lou on the board, and so many others that we can be so proud of. So on behalf of Mayor Miller and the city, thank you so much for inviting me.
I'm here on behalf of Donna Cansfield, MPP of Etobicoke Centre, and Cynthia has been a very good friend of Donna's right from the first time she introduced herself. And on behalf, I bring greetings for Donna. Unfortunately, she can't be with us today, but she apologizes for that. And on her behalf, I bring greetings from the province of Ontario. So I'll just read this really quick certificate and make a presentation to Cynthia to take back to the Chinese Professional Women of Canada. On behalf of the Legislature of Ontario, I would like to extend my warm congratulations to the Chinese Professional Women of Canada for enriching community life in Toronto. Please accept my sincere best wishes for a successful 11th anniversary celebration from signed at the Parliament Buildings in Toronto, Monday, March the 12th, 2007, and it's signed by Donna Cansfield and presented to Cynthia Yu.
Councillor Carroll, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for inviting me and bestowing on me this recognition. It's a real honor and a privilege. I'm very pleased to join you tonight to celebrate the 11th anniversary of the Chinese Professional Women of Canada organization and in recognizing the importance of International Women's Day. I'm also honored to be the company of such highly accomplished, professional, and influential women here this evening. My congratulations to CPWC for its great success in assisting immigrant women and their families in settling in their new homeland in Canada. As an immigrant from Hong Kong, I can identify with the issues of new immigrants and what they face when settling in a new country. With being totally unfamiliar with language, the culture, and the society when one first lands in a new country. In my student days, I did volunteer work at the University Settlement House, and I saw how much easier it was for new immigrants to adapt if the proper supports were in place. So I want to commend you, I want to commend CPWC on taking the initiative in offering such valuable assistance to new immigrants in the Chinese community. As we all know, a major part of the reason why new immigrants come to Canada is because it's such a wonderful country. It's held up as a model of how diverse cultures can exist in peace and harmony, as well as thrive and prosper. It is fitting as well that you celebrate your accomplishments around International Women's Day, as so much of integration into society and the success of the family rests on the women's shoulders. As women, as mothers, sisters, wives, and employees, we see over and over again the burdens women must carry in making a better life for themselves and for their families. 2007 marks the 30th anniversary of International Women's Day, which was established in 1977 by the United Nations. Mayor David Miller has issued a proclamation which recognizes the importance of International Women's Day. The Mayor's proclamation states that this day is, and I quote, an opportunity to reflect on the progress made toward women's equality and to recommit ourselves to breaking down the barriers women continue to face, end of quote. This message is echoed by the Status of Women of Canada, who notes that International Women's Day encourages us to
consider steps to bring about equality for women and girls in all their diversity, and to celebrate the collective power of women, past, present, and future. This year's theme deals with ending violence against women and focuses our attention on the very real threats to women's safety that still exist. We need to take concrete actions to end this social problem so that women and girls are able to participate fully in society. I'd like to give you a few examples of what the City of Toronto is doing. We have implemented policy and programs that recognize that dignity and worth of all people must be maintained. We have also a policy in place to ensure equal access to services, including the provision of culturally sensitive and appropriate services, especially in our homes for the aged, public health, and recreation. And we have also fostered inclusion of all groups by consulting with diverse communities, and we actively promote civic engagement among all sectors and by all residents. The City also seeks to include women's participation in the social, economic, and political life of Toronto. And here I'll give you 3 examples. The Mayor recently hosted a Federation of Canadian Municipalities Forum on increasing women's participation in municipal government, and we really need that. And I hope many of you in the audience will think about a life in the public sector, whether it's elected representatives or as a public servant. The City also provides awards to women for their leadership and contributions through the annual Constance Hamilton Award. And recently, just at the last council meeting actually, the council has now supported an increase in the minimum wage to $10 an hour. As we know, women traditionally earn less than men. But of course, with all these achievements, there's always more to do. One way is by coming together, as we are this evening, in celebrating International Women's Day and the work that you do in CPWC, in your own organization's mandate and objectives, men as well, to continue working towards a day when all women are free to pursue freedom, happiness, and fulfillment in all countries around the world. So thank you very much.
Sorry, everyone. I'll move on stage to give us a brief speech. Thank you. I as a woman feel very proud and honored for our ambassador to Canada. His Excellency Li Shuming is here with us this evening. I am deeply moved by the efforts made by some of the Chinese communities, which have put so much effort in putting this photo show and making that show possible. And through the photos, I and my colleagues and all of you will see that how the Chinese women here in Toronto work, study, and live. And before I viewing those photos, I can be sure that the Chinese women in Toronto are living a happy life here. And they have contributed a great deal to the development of economy, culture, science, and technology. in Canada, in Toronto, as well as contributed a lot to China and the Canadian friendship. And also, because of the efforts made by the women, the Chinese women in Toronto, they made life happier, and the family atmosphere, the family education are more harmonic and more strong and progress. So for the progress made by the Chinese women in Toronto, and I wish you will make greater contributions and achieve even more successes in the future. And happy Women's Day. And once again, thank you for your kind invitation. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, Ambassador, and our newest Consul General, the Lady Consul General, number 3, as far as the history concerned. So far, Toronto has 6 Consul General. The first 4 is our man, and continually the next 3 is our lady, woman. So I guess they're catching up with us. So one more lady, then we will be even. I'm pretty sure a few years from now, they will overtake us. Now, in Toronto here, we have the Chinese community have more than 200 organizations or associations, and most of them is traditional Chinese organization that is mainly is organized by the Lao Waiqiao, the people. We look at it as the first and second generation of immigrants. And over the 100 to 200 associations, none of them have a lady chairman. It's dominated by men. Not until lately, through a lot of effort of the men, to persuade one of the biggest family associations, the Wang's Association, finally elect one lady, and she became the first Chinese family association, a female lady, and she performed very, very well. And I guess once she set the example, there will be a lot of other associations who will follow the Wang's Association to elect the lady as the chair of the association. I'm pretty sure this is the trend. And I love this picture today. A lot of our friends all appear there, especially Ms. Hoy, our number 1 civil servant in the city. I'm glad they're able to get hold of you and get some of your pictures here, because you really set a very, very good example for the newer generation to work for our society and work for our community. I'm pretty sure with your help, with your guide, and there will be a lot of young lady will follow through your footsteps, and so our society, what the Chinese young lady can do. The Professional Association of the Chinese Women, in the last few years, I guess 11 years this year, had pushed along very, very well. And in some cases, even catch up. We don't have a main professional. We have a Chinese CPAC, the Chinese professional that's combined with men and women. And your association have a lot of activities able to combine with the CPAC. So hopefully you two will work together for our community. I'm pretty sure a few years from now, our face, the quality of our community will improve tremendously. So today, on behalf of us, the men, to congratulate your association, your day, the Women's Day. I said, oh, it should be March the 8th, right? Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, all the best for you, and we welcome you to Kinshasa. Thank you.
Good evening, Your Excellency Ambassador, Madame Chu, Councillor Baker, Ms. Hoy, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As Councillor of the town of Richmond Hill, I'd like to bring greetings of the town of Richmond Hill. We'd like to recall that we happen to be located in the strategic center of GTA. But I'm very, very pleased and honored to be here today to, number one, to congratulate all the individuals who have worked so hard to make this photo exhibit happen. I, for one, I'd like to ask all of you to give them a round of applause. I'm sure it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of determination, a lot of digging to do, because when I was walking around earlier, I saw photographs, they must be extracted from the archives of Canada. I saw the pictures that were at least over 50 years old. And as a lawyer myself, I'm very impressed our Chinese women in Canada make history actually only about 50 years ago when we have our first woman lawyer of Chinese descent. In fact, where I'm standing here used to be the ward of a local councillor by the name of Olivia Chow, who is now the first female member of federal parliament of Chinese descent. So we over here, over the last 50 years or more, have seen Chinese Canadian women progresses from really all walks of life to achieve a lot of things. Some of you have mentioned beforehand that although I'm a man, we all have either sisters, daughters, wife, not wives. So I can relate to it, and particularly with immigrant women. They all have to overcome the cultural barriers, overcome the language barriers, while at the same time also has this tremendous responsibility expected of them to hold the family together. And I think that that really goes to the guts of the determination of all the members and recent immigrants that really make up the membership of the CPWC. And I'd like to pay tribute to all the members and the executives of all these years, for the past 11 years, who actually contribute to make this organization one of the most noticeable, as related by Mr. Ng before me, to be recognized as one of the force of the Chinese Canadian community. They have been very much in the forefront in a lot of things, as we can see in all those photos. Again, I congratulate each and every one of you, the members of the association here.
在走没走一张，一起照一张，照一张。把花薅起来，
So that was a pleasant surprise attack. Well, I agree with all those speakers in expressing our congratulations to the committee for the Chinese Professional Women of Canada to prepare this photo exhibition. I haven't seen the photo exhibition yet, but I believe it's going to be a wonderful exhibition. Because the show will be showing that the professional women here, the Chinese professional women, the accomplishment they have made in all those years. And I should commend you for your contribution not only to the individual families, but also to the Chinese community and to the Canadian society as a whole. You know, we Chinese believe that women hold half of the sky. Just like, you know, this, the album of City of Toronto shows, you know, this, the tremendous contribution you made to the community and to the society. And here I congratulate you on the success of this photo show, and particularly congratulate all of you, the ladies, for your accomplishments in all those years, in your life, in your work, and in your study. And I wish all of you greater success in the future, and also enjoy greater happiness and more good fortune in whatever you do in the future. Thank you.
Our exhibition could not have happened without the help of our many volunteers. Please give a round of applause for them. We also have Chen Zihui, Vivian Chen, Xu Zhen, Eileen Qi, Zhao Wan, Qin Li, Xie Li, 何丽丽、姬广博、云翔、黄建斌、吴俊、江丽华、马登波、吕增禄、张小琪。这边挪一点。前面一排，后边一排，两排。We're also performing for you guys later on, so they're getting ready for the performance in the back. Thank you for your patience.
站两个到这边，站两个到这边。
The dance piece is called The Star of Roses. We'd like to please enjoy.
那个那边是英文大世纪，这个呢就是二战时期的。你看这样，你看这，